So those of you at the shack, the fight is over. One person is unconscious. One is on the ground bleeding out.
Can I search that person, please?
You can. Cool. Make me a investigation check.
I've got a +8 on this. 9. Good job I had a +8 on this. 17.
Yeah, again, there is not a lot on them. It looks like, again, they've got a little necklace with a little shield symbol on it. This one didn't have any kind of magical paraphernalia, but you do find kind of tucked away in like sewn into the lining of their jacket. You just kind of pack them over and you feel something there. It's like, and you kind of rip it open and there's a little notebook inside. The notebook doesn't seem to have anything inside that you immediately understand. It seemed like this might be some kind of cipher. Oh, in fact, actually, there's a second thing you find in there, because this is a person found something earlier. So as well as you also find a larger book that looks, this one was like a little tiny little reporter's pad that had the kind of cipher in it. You find a larger book that is leather bound, quite nice looking. Inside it's all handwritten. Again, this seems to be in some kind of code. With that investigation check, I'll tell you that this is it looks like they're different codes. And on the back of the larger book is written property of Professor Bustious.
Yeah, I've got quite the library now because I'm still looking around a history of portal interactions. I'm going to need a bigger bag.
You're accumulating all the paperwork. Which feels nice, feels right.
Yeah. So having searched them and got this, I'm now going to swagger, an actual swagger, around the corner, still holding the dripping blade to meet you.
Astonishing. Jack, also make me a perception check.
Ooh, what's my perception? 19 + 3.
Ooh. You see that the person who you just stabbed in the throat is kind of clasping their hands around their neck and basically has pulled off like a little bandana they had around their head and is in the process of tying it really tight around their own throat and is starting to crawl off. This person, for those at home, rolled a natural 20 on their death saving throw, meaning they come back up to 1 hit point.
Okay, so I'm going to turn around and go back to them.
Yep, this person's kind of just crawling on the ground quite stealthily, but realizing you've seen them, tries to go a bit quicker, and you just grab one foot and just drag them back towards the shack. Meanwhile, Wendy and Farrier.
Can I really quickly bring Farrier up to speed as to what's just happened?
Yes, absolutely.
So somehow Jack knew about this place, this shack, and these two came in, so we had to dispatch them.
That's fair. Alan gave me a chicken.
Ah, wonderful. Great.
She's very nice.
Dinner.
Oh no, I couldn't. Alan would kill me.
I've knocked this person out, and I'm just trying to figure out if Bustious is still with us.
Okay, can we make a check on that?
Yes, you can both, in fact, now make me medicine checks.
Cool.
Can I move a bit closer to them as well?
Yeah, you can all get basically cluster together.
Okay.
Well, I just got a natural 1.
I got 12.
Yeah, Wendy, he's dead. Farrier seems to be breathing.
Okay.
Slowly, steadily, unconscious, but breathing.
Perception is not Wendy's, like... She has moments, doesn't she? I mean, she's a badass.
Seriously? Just every time.
She does have a moment.
Yeah, I think what happened with Wendy, rather than like checking for breath, just went straight for the pulse, and you just got slightly the wrong place. Didn't get a pulse.
Okay.
So sad. Buster's passed.
Is there any way we can dispel is he still levitating, or is that power?
No, he is. After in fact, you all have seen this happen as you approached. After Wendy bopped the person on the head and they fell unconscious, Bustious just started floating gradually back to the ground.
Okay, cool.
I'm wondering if we should tie up the other person. I don't think I have any cable ties on me.
I have rope, I think, in a Dungeoneer's pack.
Could we use some of the rope to tie this person up?
Yeah,
We will
absolutely.
do that.
Make me either a survival or a sleight of hand check, whichever's better. And you can make it at advantage. Whoever's rolling can roll with advantage because you have the help action. From
I have a +3 on survival. Fari, do you have?
Oh no, you go for it.
Okay. 12 + 3 is 15.
Yeah, you think you've done a fairly good job. Got the night, like you spent your time on ships. You know your knots. Nice tight knots binding their hands and feet.
Cool.
And I think, do you want to do both of them? Because the one that Jack has dragged over, you could tie them up as well.
What do we need them? Or shall I finish them off?
Well, there's really no point in killing people who are prone, Jack.
Really?
Yes.
Back.
Just back off while I tie them up.
Great, and yeah, they are both firmly tied. After there's a second to have that session and a minute or so to tie them up. As the tying up is more or less finished, I think Alan kind of wanders onto the scene as well.
What? Our number one fighter. Eating an apple.
Who's dead? I'll take Princess Leia back off of Faria.
Okay, I hand you the chicken.
Thank you very much.
Got chicken under one arm, apple in the other.
Classic Alan.
So what are we doing?
Well, we've got Bustious.
Oh, good. Is he dead?
No. Don't listen to
Wendy.
Wendy. He's
Before, right? I'll just kind of lean over and just give him poke him in his ribs.
Yeah, you give him a good poke, and he starts to stir and come back round to consciousness.
Can
Wendy,
I just jump about 3 foot in the air?
yeah.
Oh my god!
In fact,
It's my necromancy finger.
for a minute, Wendy, you were convinced that Alan has just raised Bustious as a zombie, and then you think, wait, that's absurd.
It's like when you suck
Alan
your fingers up my
couldn't.
nose.
Alan couldn't do that on purpose. Might do it by accident, not on purpose.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And so, yeah, and Bustious starts to come to, kind of groggily looks up at you. Oh gosh, got rather painful. Ooh, ow, my noggin. Oh, Alan, jolly good. I assume you have rescued me from something.
Yeah, but he's not sure what.
Not. You have caused so much trouble, you have no idea.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't like to cause. What have I done this time?
I think you should probably start by telling us, don't you?
Well,
Okay.
I have down here that you are currently accused of conspiracy to commit sentient trafficking.
And I'll link to Jack and go, see? Trouble.
Sentient trafficking. That doesn't. Oh gosh, that doesn't sound like the kind of thing I'd be involved in at all. You're gonna have to give me some tips here.
Did you or did you not start talking to people from another bloody dimension and invite them over for tea?
No, I really don't think that I did.
Do you know somebody called Anna Hiss?
No, doesn't ring any bells. Is that like two separate names? Is like Anna, surname Hiss, or is this like an apostrophe situation?
Don't get cute with me, Bustious. Or
Darling,
I'll
I'm
see
cute.
your ass.
I think Bustious says, "Darling, I'm cute with everyone."
My God, I love this guy.
But no,
Yeah.
but no, honestly, none of this ringing any bells. Everyone can make me an insight roll if you want.
7.
Insight's not terrible. So
18.
17.
10, actually, with my modifier.
So we've got an 18, a 17, a 10.
11.
Cool. The 17 and the 18, so Faria and Alan. Yeah. What's odd is that it doesn't seem like Bustious is hiding anything. It doesn't seem like he's trying to like lie about mistakes that he's made or trouble he's caused. He's got generally no idea what you're talking about.
So
How hard did you get hit on the noggin exactly?
Well, judging by the size of the bump, I'd have to say fairly hard. Why do you ask?
I'm just going to look at everybody else and just go, this needs someone with more brains than me. I'll just stand up and just like carry on eating.
Could we perhaps, assuming, where are we?
Where are we?
We are standing outside a portal of teleportation that is being run by some shadowy organisation from the Tangle. Professor Ambrose Mab is dead. We are trying to find out what you're doing, and you seem to be in cahoots with some guy called Anahis to traffic people through irregular channels into this city. Now, you're in a lot of trouble, mister. Sorry, are you a professor or a mister?
Professor.
Yeah,
now,
well, when I'm shouting at somebody, I want to get their title right, okay?
And I appreciate that.
Okay, Professor. So you better start coming up with some answers with all this intelligence you've got. By the way, we've recovered some of your stolen property here. Something called posset. Posset?
Posset. No, it's not ringing it.
Bookcase.
Oh yes, I own many bookcases.
Do you have one with legs?
Oh, not yet. Maybe I should add legs.
I don't think you
follow
should
me around with all the books so I never forget them. That's a fantastic idea. I should get on that.
I would pause on any of your projects for a little while, probably.
And Bustious kind of looks around and goes, "Look, as far as I can tell, we're not too far away from my house. Perhaps we could continue this discussion there, and I can make everyone some tea."
You know these people who stole him? Did you say they had squiggly tentacly bits?
One of them has little tentacles coming out of there.
Are we dealing with an alternative Bustious? Has there been some bloody shapeshift around the place?
I'm just thinking, I wonder if they've wiped out a little bit of his memory, because if he doesn't even remember Posit, that's quite a big gap.
But he remembers you, so Posit must have come after he met you, at least for the first time.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that sounds plausible.
Could be true.
Like he mentioned when he asked you to go and get what turned out to be Posit, he mentioned that it was a project he'd been working on for a while, but like a recent project.
Right.
I'm just going to quickly hand my water skin to Bustious and suggest he drink a bit of it.
Yeah, Bustious has a little drink, goes, kind of suppresses a little cough and goes, "That's terrible. I'm going to have some more."
Excellent.
Just starts wandering off in the direction of his house, sipping from the liquor in your water skin.
Yeah, I'm going to grab that back off.
Faria, do you know of any spells that can change people's minds and make them forget stuff? Or
give me an Arcana check.
Or maybe we need to take him back to Squiggly Wiggly and see if...
14.
Yeah, there are various kinds of spells that do affect people, like charms or enchantment type stuff like that affect people's view on the world. You can't think of anything specific that might wipe someone's memory or change someone's memories like that, but it's entirely feasible that it does exist.
Could we perhaps bring our two prisoners back with us somehow, because they might know what they've done to him? So
are you saying this out loud, or is this a question for me, the GM?
This is Wendy out loud. Well, why don't we just wait for these two to come back to their senses and ask them?
Well, I'm not dragging them anywhere.
I mean, we could ask...
be dead.
What was that, Alan?
We could get in touch with Anahis, and I mean, they got inside our heads, so if they can get inside his head as well, maybe they can tell what's going on.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. And Bustious chimes in with, well, I tell you, if we need to get these two back to my house and have it not look suspicious that we're carrying two tied up people, I have something that could help. And Bustious kind of makes some arcane gestures, some kind of glowing like runes appear in the air, and he mutters an incantation to himself, and the air around the two tied up people kind of starts to shift and shimmer, and they are replaced by what look like two people, fairly nondescript, just standing there, going, now if you pick them up, you'll have to kind of feel for them, but it'll just look like there are two people walking along next to you.
That's quite cool.
I'll
grab one of them.
I'll grab the other.
Just before we go, is there any way we can disable that teleporter?
There's a what?
Can we disable the teleporter before we go?
No, there's a teleporter. You're going to have to. Is it inside?
Yes.
Yes, I've got the scroll here.
And she says, "Oh, fascinating. Right, let's see. Well, this one you could just like scrub it out. This one's kind of just like been drawn on chalk. It looks like chalk on cobblestone.
Yeah, just people. You know, we want to disrupt these people, don't we? If nothing else.
Let's scribble out some of it and
Yeah.
make a mental note of what we've scribbled out in case we need it later, and I'll keep a scroll.
I said someone who knows what they're doing.
One.
Someone who knows what they're doing could probably fix that. But yes, but if it's just someone who's just been told use this to do this thing, then they won't be able to make it right again.
And nobody will be able to come into it.
It'll break.
No, they'd have to send someone to fix it first.
Yeah. Let's just scrub out one of them and.
Yeah, so you just go at it with your sleeve and your nails, and you manage to make a couple of well-placed breaks in the runes in the circle.
I'm going to keep the scroll then, if that's okay. And it is because I said so, so it's going in my backpack.
I'm not going to tell Bustious that I've got his book yet, because I don't trust him yet.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Cool.
And you all head back through the streets. No one kind of bats an eye at the two people who are walking inside you, because they just seem like two very nondescript people.
Cool.
And you get back to Bustious' house, and as you walk in the front door, Bustious leads you kind of into the living room and says, it's in quite a state of disarray. He goes, oh, someone activated the animate object on my sofa. How rude, frankly. I'll just, and like, points a kind of finger and basically casts a couple of cantrips to kind of put things back together and clean them up a little bit. And as you all go into the room and start to take your seats, there's another shimmer in the air. It looks a lot like what happened when when Bustious cast the illusion on your two prisoners to make them seem like they were just regular people walking alongside you, but bigger. And it kind of coalesces into an image of Bustious. And this slightly shimmery, hologrammy, illusory Bustious kind of looks around the room and then kind of coughs once or twice, goes and says, hello, is this illusion on? Oh yes, I see the little red glowing arcane orb. Okay, hello friends, law enforcement, possible enemies. If you're seeing and hearing this, it means that something has gone very much awry, and I have been forcibly removed from my home. What I'd love to do here is tell you some salient information about what's happening and who took me, but honestly, it could have been anything. I seem to have upset a great deal of people in recent months. You know, it could have been some of those dickheads from the college who are jealous of my facility with complex enchantments and dangerous explosions. Perhaps it was the priests of ego who took exception to my recent proposed paper on artifice-based souls and sapience. It might have been a shadowy group that approached me saying they represented interested parties from the city council who offered to fund my research once the grants from the college had run dry, which they were just about to do. Or I suppose, it could have been... I just dropped my dice box as I was gesturing.
I could just imagine Bustious doing that, though, just being like halfway through the recording.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'll clean that up later. It could have been, I suppose, this latest project I've started working on with my pal Ambrose. But honestly, friends, acquaintances, or strangers, I have begun to suspect that my recent run of bad luck has been somewhat more substantial than I suspected at first. You see, in recent times, I've had the great distinction to have achieved a magical feat that few would have believed possible. Indeed, that some would say violates the very natural laws of the universe. It's long been theorized that those rules of existence can be bent in this way, but only at a cost, because once you've bent those rules, they have a tendency to snap back with a vengeance. Those who manage to harness this power of kind of, bending those rules of reality and sacrificing to achieve that, we in arcane circles tend to call them breakers. I suggested benders because that more matches the bending the rules, but I was told that was already taken for something else and it's copyrighted. Anyway, yes, the dean told me that. Anyhow, I guess I'm one of them. I mean, anyone possibly can be one of them if they're committed enough, I suppose. And unknowingly, to create my great work of magical accomplishment, I may have accidentally sacrificed my reputation or my good luck to achieve that, and that's why things are going rather tits up. So yes, if you're watching and hearing this, you may be wondering what the point of me leaving this message was. Well, that's a very good question. Well, here's the thing. I can't be too specific because literally anyone who wandered into my house after I've been forcibly removed from it could hear this. But here, I'll take a small gamble anyway. If you find my diary, there should be pertinent information therein if you can decode it. Indeed, that may be the only place to find that pertinent information, because I can tell you right now, as soon as there's even a whiff of something untoward happening to me, I am going to modify my own memories so fast to prevent myself from spilling the beans under duress. Seriously, I'll wipe my mind so fast you may as well call me the window cleaner, because I'm so good at wiping. Anyway, if you find my diary, decode it or whatever, and maybe find this project I've been working on too, and you'll probably be in a good place to start getting to the bottom of this. Also, please, 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 find out where I am and save me. I'm a squishy wizard who does not get any physical exercise, and I cannot tolerate pain. In the name of the wall builder and the candle bearer, please, anything but pain. Help. And then it kind of peters out and then starts again from the beginning. And
for the love of the gods, somebody please shut it up.
The real Professor Bustious is sitting there going, oh no, that'll basically run forever. Tell you what, give me a second. I can probably dispel it. And Bustious again makes a few more arcane gestures, does some incantations, and eventually the thing kind of just winks out of existence.
Press 1 to play again.
Bustious, you're an idiot.
Am I?
Yes.
Or am I a genius?
No, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I'm probably with Jack on this one, actually.
I think history will decide.
So that diary, is that one of the books you've picked up, Jack?
Don't keep it down! Keep it down! Don't tell him that.
Oh, sorry. Is that one of the books you picked up, Jack?
I think it might be. Bustious, imagine we find this diary at some point. Could you explain to us?
Which he has.
Yeah. Could you explain how to translate it?
That will depend how much of my own memory I erased, because I do tend to write the whole thing out again in a different cipher every month or so. So, you know, it depends how far back I went. You know. Anyway, I feel like you will have to fill me in on what's happened here, because as we've all just found out, in the dark.
Will you tell us what would have happened if we convinced somebody to open a gate?
Oh, yeah. If you convinced the old person to open the gate, the old person would have opened the gate, listened to you and gone, and just immediately understood, this is really urgent. And basically, they would have torn off their sleeves, revealed themselves to be insanely buff for an old person, given you a piggyback, and you'd have caught up twice.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Oh, that's genius.